Where's your worm over, brother?
Nomad, are you okay?
Wait! Wait!
You piece of shit. You tell a motherfucker when you have him chase down a truck full of explosives. Or were you trying to kill me? Huh? What's up with these blueprints? You into engineering? Or you just bombed the shit out of 30 people?
Don't hurt him! Please, just let me explain.
Don't tell me this was your idea.
No, wait. Just...
You're a fucking terrorist and you tried to blow my ass up!
It was a mistake, okay? He got scared. The building was supposed to be empty. The lab was supposed to be empty. We were given bad information.
You two are idiots. So are all the rest of your outcasts.
The future must be human.
Project Deus wants to make computers that's smarter than we are.
What about Paula Madeira? She give you those blueprints?
No. Daigoro figured out how to use her energy cells as an incendiary device. We kept it secret from her. Especially after we killed those people. Paula is too important to us.
Are you still gonna kill us?
Stupid is as bad as evil. But with Sentinel out there, I need you. Still, I'm gonna tell Paula what you and your sister did.
Brute Squad. Tell her I'm sorry.
Hey, you.
Leave me alone. I don't have energy for a fight.
Look, I'm not here to fight. But I have to tell you, Haruhi and Daigoro, You bombed that Skeltech lab.
I heard the rumors. But Haruhi and Daigoro would never hurt anyone.
You know, they didn't mean to.
But they did. I always thought... I don't know, someone was trying to set them up. Make them look like terrorists.
And they used one of your energy cells as the bomb. Daigoro was able to adapt the technology. And Sentinel, they figured out how to do the same thing.
Oh, hell.
You gonna be okay?
You know that phrase, the truth will set you free?
Yeah, I've read it.
It's not true. I know what Jace has done for my husband. And I know what Haruhi has done with my technology. Let's go to Jace.
Came across some soldiers in masks. Know anything about them?
Wolves. They're elite and they answer directly to Walker. We noticed them around after Sentinel Corp took over. My guess is they were hidden in one of the underground bases before then. They're bad news from what I can tell. But they mostly just run drills and ignore us altogether, so we do the same.
Where can I find them, if I were inclined?
Don't know why you would be, but they've got a few little fortresses around. Biggest one is Shark Base, an old US sub-base dug into a cliff on the south coast. Wolves keep a close eye on it, so nobody knows what's in there.
I want to know about the bombing.
It was a mistake.
There was nothing strategic about the Scout Foundation. It was an office building. You weren't even at war yet, so why do it at all?
Attention? Skeltech completely ignored us when we tried to meet with them about transhumanism. We'd been getting the runaround in Aurora's parliament, who were a bunch of Skeltech groupies anyway. There was no other way to get people to wake up about what was really happening.
Except the civilians that were in the building. Not doing much waking up, are they?
I get it, okay? We've been through this before. If there's something I can actually do about it, let me know. Till then, drop it.
Is it over? Or do you plan on playing terrorists some more?
We aren't terrorists. We were activists who went too far. Now I'm not sure what we are. But causing civilian casualties again would destroy whatever ethical glue is still holding us together.
So Project Deus. That sounds ominous. What can you tell me?
Look, I'd really prefer not to talk about it.
I get that you're not a fan, but why all this? A rebellion over a rich guy's pet project. It doesn't track.
What's there to track? Apparently, during their giant asshole convention, the meatheads at Skeltec came up with a way to cheat death. Project Deus is their elitist method of transferring the minds of the richest 0.1% into computers. It's not hard to figure out where that leaves the rest of us. So excuse me if I'm a little pissed off.
People have been trying to cheat the laws of nature since the beginning of time. It won't be them anyway, just some copy. Their bodies will still rot like the rest of ours.
But their brainwaves create a template, a basic template for artificial intelligence. Can you imagine a sentient AI modeled after some rich, pretentious, self-preservationist jackass? It makes me sick.
Fair enough.
It's in the name, Brute Squad. Project Deus isn't about cheating the god of death, it's about becoming him. For these people, it means absolute power. That's what the outcasts are fighting against.
Your people look like they're barely holding it together.
What, you mean these nerd farmers aren't ready for Brute Squad boot camp? It was hard enough turning these pocket-protecting 4-H'ers onto vandalism, but infiltration and sabotage? It's a goddamn miracle that we've survived this long. But we're not fooling ourselves. We know at the end of the day, we're just standing with our fingers in a dike.
Yeah, well, the tide's coming in. Surviving off the grid is one thing, but if you don't start punching above your weight, you're gonna get slaughtered. If you don't think your lot's up for that, best thing would be to scatter to the wind.
If not us, then who?
Let me ask you something. Why South Cape Station? Liberty's right next door, and it wouldn't take much for Sentinels to surround you and cut you off from everything.
It's rare that outcast cells stay put more than a few days. Nature of the beast, I guess. With this place, we were just looking for something more permanent where we could stockpile supplies and safeguard assets. The landfill keeps away Sentinel and Skeller tourists from the capital. We're right near to our fields of operation and close enough to Sentinel that we won't show up on radar. As far as security's concerned, the creek does a decent job of keeping us hidden, and looking out at the cabins is a bonus.
How does Sentinel Corp take control of Aurora?
Skell hired them to deal with us initially once he realized that he had some resistance against transhumanism, his own private militia. They started making arrests, so a few of us went to ground and our sympathizers followed, thinking they'd leave us alone once we were outside of the cities.
But they didn't.
Stone got permission to operate outside Liberty and Infinity, and Skell let him set up shop in the Cold War installations to patrol the wild. Once they got there, they did just enough to keep us at bay, while using us as cover to bring in men and vehicles, which he hid from Skell in some underground bunkers, which of course are now called Camp Ferret and Camp Weasel.
Son of a bitch has a sense of humor.
We were watching the whole thing happen. And when they grew strong enough, they took over. They literally came up out of the ground. Skell had no idea what hit him.
If I was looking for a fight, where should I go?
With Sentinel Corp, you that hard up?
Trigger finger needs its exercise.
Well, Sentinel patrols the city centers and industrial complexes pretty heavily, though there's always civilians around, so I'd keep away from those if you can help it. Then there's the settlements they built when they first got here, in the southwest and northeast, where they keep their reserve garrison and store resources.
That sounds like more fun than anybody should be allowed to have.
If you're looking for more of a skirmish, you could check out one of Auroa's many Cold War-era bunkers left courtesy of Uncle Sam. They also set up some transportable structures and took over some Skell architecture. Basically, if you see a green storage container-looking thing, Sentinel's probably nearby. Of course, if you don't feel like looking that hard, they patrol most of the island 24/7, so you could just pick a spot and wait.
How do the outcasts manage to sustain themselves out here?
Barely. None of us have the skills or equipment to farm or fish. Even if we did, it'd bring us a boatload of attention that we couldn't afford. Once in a while, a civilian will leave some food at a dead drop, but it's risky and never much. Best bet's always to steal from farms and raid Sentinel supplies, but of course they're protected. Then there's still the matter of getting the supplies out to as many cells as possible while avoiding detection.
Nobody thinks about food at first. That's why so many groups who call themselves revolutionaries end up as bandits. Even if you don't think it's possible now, you'll want to be careful you don't drift that way. Did you know anything about Madeira's husband being kept in the cryo chambers in eternity?
I knew he had ALS, of course, and how difficult it was for Paula when he went into a coma 5 years back. Hate to say it like this, but it seemed to me that Paula had moved on. I was surprised as shit when I heard he was still alive.
Even Skell's got his good points.
Hitler liked art.
Really? Hitler?
Skell was playing God. Just because he helped out a friend one time doesn't make him any less dangerous. Almost glad he never found a cure. He'd have had Madeira forever, not to mention something to sell for a fortune. You want to work with Skell? I can't stop you. But you'd better make sure you're using him and not the other way around.
Skell might be king shit back in civilization, but he's less than shit in the wild. If he even dreams about crossing me, I'll bleed him and leave the rest for Stone.
Whatever. You're gonna do what you want to do, so he's your problem. But don't let him become mine. If he ever compromises the outcasts, even you won't be able to protect him from me.
See you later, Haruhi.
Not if I see you first, Brute Squad.